It's time for another exciting episode of the JoshCast. I already hate this podcast. I already hate this episode right there. Just what I did right there. I'm not a fan of it. It felt too forced. Let me see if I can try this again. It's time for another episode of the JoshCast. Well, that just felt too low energy. It's time for another episode of the JoshCast. That didn't feel right at all. That just was too silly. And I don't want, I'm trying to bring intelligence to the internet. I can't believe I just said that out loud. This is already going horrible. I can't stand it. I can't stand every second of it. If you're still listening to it, good for you. That's how I like to introduce the podcast. Okay. So today is the royal wedding, and Meghan, I think I'm saying her name right, Merkel? Is it Merkel? I think it's Meghan Merkel, married a prince, Prince Harry, I think, and Meghan Merkel are married, and I'm seeing it all over the news, and I'm just amazed that it's such a big thing. I'm very happy for them. I'm glad that they've found love for the moment. Hopefully it'll last. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it'll last. Let's be positive about these things. Would I be secretly happy if it didn't last? I don't want to go there. You know what? How dare you think that I'm sitting here hoping that other people will suffer so I will feel better? What kind of person do you think I am that you would even suggest that? You're perceptive. But anyway, I'm just amazed that it's getting this much press. And I feel like there are bigger issues that need to get more press. The things that are more concerning to me. You know what? I'll be honest with you. The thing that's more concerning to me right now is my irritable bowel syndrome. Here's the thing. I hope it's irritable bowel syndrome. I hope it's not something more serious. Because what sucks about irritable bowel syndrome is that it seems to share symptoms with things that kill you. So I just wish that I could know for sure. And I have a terrible feeling the only way to know for sure is to do one of those colonoscopies, which I don't want to do. And although the idea of actually being able to sleep is nice because they knock you out, but then there's that you got to drink that stuff and then you poo a lot. But then again, I'm pooing a lot now. Not a lot, but it's just, I don't want to go into too much detail about my bowels on a podcast. I don't think that's the way to gain followers. I think that's the way to lose followers. Suddenly I'm doing a faux British accent because I'm thinking about the royal wedding probably is what's happening. And about car designs. I'm in a parking lot recording this, which sounds worse than it is. He's doing a podcast in the parking lot. That's what his life has gotten to. Did you hear about Josh? Yeah. I heard about him. Who? Josh, the comedian that no one knows. Oh, right. What about him? He's recording his podcast live in a parking lot. No. Yes, a parking lot. Wow. We thought by now he'd be recording his podcast, in a room at least, but in a parking lot? That's disgusting. Utterly disgusting. His life has been derailed. So yeah, not feeling too good about the IBS. I think what I really wanted to talk about, though, was loneliness, which is probably related to the IBS. I think they're simpatico. I just can't help but wonder if I was in a committed relationship. Committed relationship. There's something strange about that phrase. Committed relationship. I commit to you. I'm committing. It's odd that you commit to a relationship and you also commit murder. You use the same word for two drastically different things. Or are they the same on some levels? Comedy! I don't know. But I wonder if I were in a relationship if the bowels would be... They could be worse if it was a bad relationship. This is the thing. I'm terrified of being in a bad relationship. And I just... and maybe what it is that I just have to accept the fact that no matter who I'm with, there will always be some red flags. And not to say that I'm perfect either. Like my goal is I try to show all the red flags as soon as possible, so that anyone going into the situation will have an inventory of red flags, and they'll know, okay, well, this is what I'm signing up for. The last thing I don't want to reveal a red flag 6 months in. That just feels dishonest. I want to begin the process with a red flag. If it were up to me, all first dates would be at a licensed therapist's office, with the therapist saying, the therapist is telling the girl, listen, I've been talking to this guy for a year, and maybe you should talk to me if you're interested in this. What am I afraid of? That's a good question. Thanks for asking. I think the problem is that I feel like I want to be taken care of emotionally, and I don't want to be the one to take care of someone else emotionally. I think that's what it is. So basically, I think I want a mother. I want a mother I can sleep with. Which basically makes me, I think, like every other man on earth. But I don't know how it's not something you advertise, I guess. But then I'm told, there's Josh, there's so many women out there who just want to fix people. There are going to be so many women out there. My mother told me this. She said, don't worry, you'll find someone who'll want to fix you. And isn't that a bad idea? I mean, I might be beyond fixing. I do this elaborate ritual where I blow up imaginary brain tumors with imaginary lasers. I hope they're imaginary brain tumors. I do this at least once a day. That's, I don't know if this is something that somebody comes out of. I don't know how you fix that. Maybe what they mean is that they just, whoever I'm with is going to dress me, which may not be such a bad idea. I don't put a lot of effort into how I look, which probably contributes to me not being with anybody. But the weird thing is that, I don't want to be fixed either. I want to be accepted for who I am. But then the problem is, any woman who accepts me for who I am, one must question her sanity. This is I go round and round in circles. I just, there's all this over-intellectualizing, and at the end of the day, it seems to me that a relationship either it works or it doesn't, and it just never seems to work with me. I don't know what it is. It just never seems to work, and I don't know what to do about it. I feel like putting energy into it is not the way to fix it. I genuinely feel that way. That going out on dates, meeting people, going through the rigmarole, I'm gonna throw out the rigmarole when I'm talking about dating. All of that is just gonna lead to a series of horrible restaurant experiences coupled with more IBS. And that somehow I feel like cosmically I have to let go and let the universe take over, and then somehow it'll happen. Or it won't happen and I'll die alone. One of the two. But that's kind of my plan right now. And people tell me that's wrong. And those same people, I look at them and I see their relationships and I think to myself, well, you should talk. No, that's getting better. I don't want to get better. What kind of person do you think I am that I'm getting better? I'm not sure what I'm accomplishing with this, other than I'm just forcing myself to do it. Why am I forcing myself to do it? I guess, I don't know. I assume that this is going to somehow... Here's the thing. I hate podcasts. I don't listen to them. I'm amazed that people listen to them. I know I shouldn't be saying this, because if you're listening to this, I appreciate it. But by the same token... good for you. I guess good for you. Thank you for listening. I guess there's some people that like to listen to it. You know what? There's some people like to listen to podcasts. I like to watch videos about people who talk about starship designs from Star Trek ad nauseums. I can watch hours of that where they really break it down and they interview the designers, the ship designers, and I love the questions they give. They're like, well, when you were designing the NX-01 Enterprise, was your intent to not give it a secondary hull for the sake of continuity in the timeline? And then the designer says, well, we just wanted to look cool. And that's just a situation where I'm seeing two people, both the person, the nerd interviewing the designer, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Both of these people are probably having more sex than I am. That's amazing to me. So I'm the problem. I'm the problem, folks. I'm the problem.